welcome to the Kryptonaut Podcast. I am Mark Storrs, and with me as always is...
I'm Chris.
And...
Rob Morphy.
If you could not tell by our voices, we are currently in a lockdown situation for a possible COVID exposure. I'm sure that everyone is going to be okay. It's just, a precautionary step to take because, again, as Uncle Rob says, safety first, motherfuckers. So welcome everybody to the show. Top of the show, patreon.com/Kryptonaut Podcast. $1 is the shout out. $5 is the shout out and some bonus audio. We're going to be recording an episode for October's Patreon, actually after this episode. And remember too, both tiers get access to the Discord, and I'm in there as we speak, as we're recording this in my bunker, and people are having a good time. So there you go. Jump in, check it out, enjoy. And before we get started, Robert, I believe we have some Patreon shout outs to do.
We do indeed. Without further motherfucking ado, let's start with Corey Trago Erdner. That's
Nice.
awesome, by the way. That's
Dope.
awesome. We're going to move on with Irene Gasco.
Hell yeah.
Next, we have Marjorie Monroe and Nikita Albert. That's a package deal there.
Perfect.
There you go.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
so very much.
John Paul Dudley.
Hell yeah, John Paul Dudley.
Amelia.
Thank you, Amelia.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amelia. Earhart? No, too soon. Diego H.
Thank you, Diego.
Yeah.
And yes, Amelia Earhart too soon. Thank you again, Diego.
Incubus Jules.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sweet.
Lance.
Hell yeah.
God.
My favorite weapon.
It is a weapon. Yeah, no, I mean, here you pierce the side of the Christ, baby. You ride on roids. Lance
There
is
you
a
go.
lot of things. You're a middle manager at a Best Buy, that they still exist, or you're the awesome Lance that is our patron, or those
Thank
other
you.
things. Lastly, but certainly not least, Patricia Hung. Thank you so much, one and all.
Thank you all so
Perfect.
very much. Let's see. Before we get started, we've got hellerspace.com. Things are for sale there. By all means, go there, check that out. We have our election season shirts up. They will be down on election day, so be sure to get those. We are not going to be posting them up after that, so be sure to grab your stuff there. Heard a rumor. We got some new stuff in the works, but we'll see what happens. We'll probably be launching that after October, so be sure to check that out. And yeah, I think that's everything. I think that's the entire intro for the show.
Well done. Very efficient.
It is weird not seeing your faces, I gotta say.
I know.
I'm not
We
used to
fell
this.
back
I
into this
know.
bunker
God damn
trap,
it.
and it's like,
Well, you know.
We're just back in the bunker.
I don't
John
got
do.
into it. Not one
All
little
right.
bit. But at least we
All
can
right.
still do this. So,
Yeah,
I mean, that's
well,
a plus.
Yeah, I mean, thank God we still have, the tech to do it. So, but whatever. Fuck it. You know what we're going to do? We're going to fucking move forward, and we're going to get this done. And this week, we are talking about the living washcloth and the four-eyed fiends.
The best
Jesus
7-inch
Christ.
you've never owned.
It sounds like something off of like Alternative Tentacles, definitely.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Asian man or one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely.
This is a
Definitely.
great little case. Again, the inestimable Albert Rosales, chronicled it amongst the many,
nice.
many thousands of fantastic incidents he chronicled. So when I stumbled across this, I thought, let's keep it weird. Let's keep it fun. And let's do this.
At the turn of the 21st century, in one of the odder, ostensibly interstellar incidents on the books, an unidentified Texas woman claimed to have had a run-in with a pair of partial humans, a tiny green spaceship, and one exceedingly lively piece of fabric.
But isn't that just
I
evocative?
mean,
That fabric, you don't often get the adjective lively as hell. Doesn't
Yeah,
that thing
no.
got
Yeah, you're
spunk?
right.
Well, I guess if you're in a teenage boy's room, you probably love. I know, it's still true. So spunk was not the
Disgusting.
finest adjective I could have used.
Yeah, no, you could have
how
done
about
better.
chutzpah?
That's fine.
Moxie.
gross.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's got
All right.
chutzpah. Chutzpah.
Sometimes I dig myself a fucking thesaurus trench and I get stuck there.
Nice.
Located again near the dead center of the state of Texas is the hot, dry city of Brownwood. Though the population has remained small, the town can lay claim to birthing such notables as Bob Denver, that's right, Gilligan himself, Maynard G. Krebs, actor and testosterone made manifest Clint Walker, as well as the notorious stripper burlesque dancer and bad boy chaser Juanita Dale Slusher, better known to her myriad fans as Candy Bar. She dated Jack Ruby, Mickey Cohen, like not just
All right.
chasing bad boys like greasy guys at the the local diner that just maybe bought their first motorcycle, but like hard bad boys.
It took
This
me a second.
has
I thought I knew her name.
Nothing to do with anything, but you just know where Brownwood's at now.
Awesome.
As auspicious
Perfect.
as the list of actors, athletes, and other notables may be, for those in a more Fortean frame of mind who are willing to dig deep for their lore, Brownwood is indelibly linked with an astounding alien abduction involving everything from multi-eyed monsters to an apparently sentient scarf. Neither the eyewitnesses' age. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the headline says
it's not
it all.
unheard of. It's not unheard of.
No. I mean, we've dealt with anomalous things that seem to be intelligent, like the Kinderhook blob, that weird thing that got bigger and bigger in the sugarcane field that scared those two poor night watchmen.
Oh, yeah.
That we thought was probably either a parachute or an alien gelatinous mass. I forgot even what we called that thing. But whatever. We're dealing with weird things that aren't traditionally what we would be considering typical Earth-bound organisms.
All right.
Neither the eyewitnesses' age nor name was ever reported. But one thing we do know is that the inexplicable incident, which surely must have profoundly affected her life, occurred on the night of January 8th, 2008, and was initiated by what seemed to be a bit of drifting debris.
Oh, it's 2008. It's kind of recent.
Yeah.
Especially for us. The unidentified woman in question claimed that she was not alone when the episode began, but did not reveal anything concerning the quantity or genders of the other observers. Again, deep mystery, this one. However, she did state that the group was startled by what they thought was a UFO, which, according to the aforementioned Albert Rosales, was flittering about in the night sky. Initially assuming it was a craft of immense proportions, the spectators were stunned to realize that the object was actually more akin to fabric and was in fact only about a foot wide. More fascinated than frightened, the woman and her pals watched as the pliable, cloth-like object seemed to dance above them. So, moving around, some weird shit.
Yeah. Just a nice scarf in the wind.
Yeah, see, that's perspective.
It is.
Fuck them over.
You're right. But this strange thing wasn't merely floating, caught between conflicting gusts of wind as it made its slow and steady descent. It was genuinely flying. In Rosales' own words, it shot around really fast and made lots of sharp, nearly right-angle turns, moving very fast. The primary witness reported that this, quote, living washcloth began fluttering down toward her, spiraling in a pattern that she compared to a slinky when stretched out, which I can only mean is, I guess, just like a DNA strand, like one of those slides that spins. Yeah. I don't know what else it could be. The woman lunged skyward, snagging the supple substance out of the air, whereupon it instantly constricted, or as she said, scrunched into her palm.
So did she catch a rod?
Yeah, well, yeah, or a flat rod?
Fucking rod.
Yeah, really.
A baby Crawfordsville fucking monstrosity before it sprouted all its mini wings and terrified the Joneses down the street?
Well, she caught one. Good luck. You're cursed.
Is that what happens? If you catch a rod, are you making mythology right now as we go?
You have 12 years bad luck.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to say 12 years to live. I guess 12 years of bad luck is better.
Bad luck, and then you're visited every 6 years by a demon.
Wow.
Yep.
I don't know where you're getting this information from, but
welcome to the internet, boys and girls.
Oh, welcome to shut the fuck up. Oh.
Wow, really?
Wow, yeah.
Her palm. She would later claim that the malleable material felt like fabric covered with tiny barbs that felt prickly, but not enough to hurt her hands. Perhaps a defense mechanism? It's wild speculation at this point, but whatever. Stranger still was her observation that the object seemed, quote, alive but not alive. She expanded that thought to indicate that while she did not believe it to be a living biological thing like a bird, it had undoubtedly been intelligently controlled. So it's a fine line. It's a fabric drone, I don't know what she really thinks it is, but
it's possible.
It's within the realm of possibilities.
Yeah,
Yes.
fabric drone.
it would be at this moment that an otherwise pleasantly weird situation would take a precipitous dip toward the highly unnerving when the woman suddenly noticed the presence of a green box approximately the size of a small shed. An orifice of some sort opened in the side of the box, revealing a quote-unquote being that possibly, just possibly, based on testimony she gives later, bore a bulging skull. And that's it. That's all you get. Jack shit. There's just a being, and he might have a bulging skull, and fuck off.
Being.
There's a green shed with a skull-headed dude
Oh my
inside of
God.
That's what we got.
is it the residents or something like showing up? What the fuck?
This is shades of the Devil Boy that I saw at the goddamn sideshow.
All right. I mean, it's an interesting
That's
little
true.
interaction, though. There's a shed, and then there's
we
a skull.
never have actually. We've dealt with a lot of terrestrials, but we have yet to deal with perhaps the most terrifying of all, the carny terrestrial.
Yeah, well, we might have we might be onto that here, so let's see what happens.
The entity evidently beckoned her into the green box. It's unknown whether she was psychically compelled or merely curious. Either way, the woman complied. No sooner than she was inside the mechanism, which was barely large enough for two people, than she felt the decidedly unaerodynamic vehicle first flip, then jerk backwards as if the craft, shot up into the night sky. I'm sorry to our listeners in advance. I am stuffy as the dill, so please forgive me. And you and Mark and Chris too. I beg.
There is no forgiveness.
Right now. Fair enough.
Cool.
It was not recorded if she was safely seated or if some other miracle of alien technology kept her from splashing against the back of the ship like a bug on a windshield. But our fellow Earthling remained unharmed during takeoff and even seemed delighted to see at relatively close range, through some kind of portal, they don't describe it again, not one, but two satellites of earthly origin. So instantly in fucking orbital space, and they're ours, or maybe China's, or it's 2008, everyone's got a fucking satellite up here, but it's Earthican. So,
and she's in a green shed and was beckoned by someone with a bulging skull.
Perhaps a bulging skull. I can't even promise that.
Welcome to the Kryptonaut Podcast. That's fucking what you
there
get
it is,
right
in a
there.
fuck-sucking nutshell.
There it is.
This is tight and very specific.
No, what's funny is there are very, very explicit details, and there's more to come, that make this really interesting. But then there's such hunks of asinine vagary that it just makes you want to beat your head into a cinder block. It works on both levels. It's a multitasker, this story, but we'll continue and we'll parse it out. Without warning, the boxy green machine revolved again, and in the space of seconds, the two satellites were just glinting specks on the horizon. It would be then that our intrepid hero lost consciousness. When she awoke, the woman found herself, as so many abductees do, inside a massive white room, in what she surmised to be a larger ship than the one she'd left Earth inside of. So this unnamed woman logically assumed, even though this might be some TARDIS shit, who knows, really, she passed out and woke up in a bigger space. She surmised it was a bigger ship. It seems like a reasonable leap, but there's no real proof that that's what happened. Sharing this space with her were a pair of immense humanoids, about 6'5" and 7 foot tall, respectively, that so resembled human beings, she thought that they might well be human/alien hybrids. If these things were clothed, then neither the color or condition of the garb was mentioned, but the woman did notice other curious details about her towering captors. They both had a light tan complexion, bulging skulls, there it is, repeat,
right. Nailed it.
And a pair of eyes similar in size and placement to a human's. She noticed that the beings were squinting as if the light in the room were far too much for them to bear. The woman was then taken aback to note, in Rosalis's words, and right below the ridge of their foreheads was a second set of eyes that looked vestigial. They were there, but they looked like they were no longer of any use as organs for sight. Now, I don't know the paradigms for judging vestigial eyes.
Like, at what point are they like, we no longer need our the second pair of eyes? They are useless, and they just like leave them there. Like,
well, you know what? Let me try to answer this question.
Could be weird moles.
Yeah,
right now. It was at that moment that a telepathic voice exploded in her mind, stating, matter-of-factly, he has a redundant set of eyes.
Oh, okay. Well, fucking. There you go.
Answer comes when you ask.
They fucking knew it. They're like listening to her, and they're like, oh, fuck, she's onto her shitty eyes. God damn it. All right, fucking tell her what we got. What the
You mean if they're redundant, that's like dope, because then you could just
Yeah, no, you got the
not
you
give
got
a
the
fuck
backup.
about two of them.
Binoculars. Binoculars.
Fuck about two of them. Like, yeah, these two are fucking useless.
Yeah,
I got another set. Fuck
Right.
you.
I'm just going to stab these. I don't need these. I got two other ones.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want
so-
quad polar vision? I mean, we all need this.
Oh, God, that's funny. Like, it's Sunday morning. I better stab my eyes because I'm bored. Like, what the fuck?
I mean,
All
you
right,
got
well,
redundant eyes.
The irony doesn't end here.
Redundant eyes.
Okay.
Oh. Well, look at you. Oh, can't do it. I can't do it with
all
the
right.
cold.
That
Don't-
wasn't bad.
don't
That
do
wasn't
it.
bad.
Thank you.
Don't do it.
The woman turned almost intuitively, and that's when she spied a third being approximately 5 feet away. She stared at the colossal communicator, the guy that had telepathically talked to her, and noted, presumably ironically, that he too had a redundant set of eyes. So he's looking at this
What
guy.
the fuck?
He's got a redundant set of eyes. She looks over at him. Fucker has 4 eyes. Just as many goddamn eyes, probably 2 of them redundant. And he's just calling the kettle black. And I don't care for that kind of hypocrisy, no matter how advanced or tall your species is.
I mean, we've all got a redundant set of eyes, I guess.
We got a
I don't
redundant
know.
appendix, unless you've had it removed. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Mine's here.
mine is
rocking.
too.
Well, I don't know if that's redundant. It's leftover.
No, I know
useless.
it's absolutely not redundant by definition. It's
I was
useless as 2 tits on a bull, as my dad would say.
This might be like a phone or like a camera. Like there's normalized like we have, and they might have
Right.
these fucked up ones that are maybe like a zoom eyes.
Yeah, redundant eyes
maybe.
might be a misnomer, because the term redundancy, at least in English, implies that you don't need them. It's superfluous. But she could have meant like spare set, or he could have.
Yeah.
It could have. And
Cool.
maybe in how it was translated, by Rosales or whoever had the initial experience, maybe it kind of just got lost in the shuffle, the strictly speaking meaning. But if it is indeed an extra set of eyes, it's just fucking funny that they're just, it's like they've got 2 fucking sloth eyes, hanging
Right.
out, pretending they're in the Goonies while the rest of their face is trying to be legit.
Weird. All right. Well,
It would be
all right.
at this point in the average abduction encounter that the aliens in question would either unclothe and invasively examine their victim, or place her in front of a fancy high-def screen and show her images of environmental and nuclear devastation, all the while giving grave warnings that humanity would have to stop its wicked ways or suffer the consequences.
Oh, this is
But
shitty.
that's not
the
what
abyss.
happened. No, that's not what happened. In fact, her account ends abruptly, leaving us with little more than a sucking void of unanswered questions and the assumption that she must have somehow been safely returned to Earth in order to tell her confounding and fascinating fucking tale.
That's
To
it,
add to
just
the
stops?
frustration, it just stops right here. It just stops
yes.
dead. Like, his eyes are redundant. You got redundant eyes? Nothing. To add to the frustration of it all
Okay.
is the single postscript, which indicates that the group of friends who evidently witnessed the dance of the washcloth had absolutely no memory of her abduction, and even more infuriatingly, had begun to go fuzzy on the flying fabric.
Oh, it's all falling apart.
It's all falling apart. Oh, this is just, I don't even know, like fucking Legos and lava. It's just not working anymore, guys.
My favorite show. All right.
While many aspects of this account are vexatious, surely indeed, it more than meets its quota for high strangeness, and in this case, maybe that's just enough.
Oh, Mr. Albert Rosales coming through for us. The
It's so
Vanguard.
fucking, it was,
This
what it
is
was
not
that got
enough.
me? And Rosales is a saint among researchers. I think everyone that knows about his work and is, used it to further their own work, like myself, like ourselves, has nothing but praise for him. But that having been said, what got me was the idea of that fucking seemingly sentient scarf, as I put it earlier, this little piece of fabric that maybe is intelligently controlled, maybe is like a flat rod. Did I just make a new thing up? Yes, I did.
Yeah,
a flat rod. But thanks to Mark for suggesting it earlier, and how it has nothing whatsoever seemingly to do with the rest of the account, which is in many ways sort of a traditional abduction, except with none of the traditional abduction things, except that you're going up to another place.
I mean, my first thought after hearing the entire encounter was that maybe what that the washcloth that came to life, maybe it was some sort of drone or something that had come down,
like some sort of scouting mechanism.
To kind of like
the first person it touches, the little prickles aren't enough to hurt her, but they're like taking DNA samples, maybe blood samples.
It's like
anything your iWatch would do, or Apple Watch, or whatever the fuck kids call them.
My iWatch, yes.
Yeah, or
it's a drone in the sense that it comes down, it tags you, and then they're like, okay, this is where this person is. Show up with your sweet green shed and your bulbous skull. I mean, that would make sense. Or, as Chris often likes to say, maybe it's completely unrelated. Who knows?
I actually like that theory. Oddly enough, it's so incongruent and so unlike anything else at least that I've encountered in different ufological lore, and especially abduction scenarios, that it seems like you really want to put it in left field. But honestly, some sort of indicator, something you flag, some marker you give so that the rest of the hunting party can come down and pick the one that you specifically want for whatever reason, intellectual, biological, philosophical, who the fuck knows? I mean, why not? Of course it's all pissing in the wind. We all know that that's half what we do, but at least there's something in my mind that says, I don't hate thinking that that's a possibility.
No, I mean, or it's just a living washcloth and it's doing its thing.
Or it was trying to warn her away. Like those little ignominious schmoos or other fuckballs they used to have in Hanna-Barbera cartoons that weren't really anything. They just changed shape and tried to help you out a little. And then fucked off somewhere and did whatever they did in the meantime. And this isn't a shmoo, obviously, but maybe just some weird thing that was maybe trying to watch her back and be like, dude, they're about to, why are you squeezing me so tight? And then it died.
I don't know.
If all it does is crunch up in your hand when you grab it, then its job is not possible to do if you're going to warn somebody.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of plants that if you like brush on them, their petals or their leaves just squinch really quickly, actually fast for plants.
Yeah, but they're not
plants in general.
I mean, it's not like.
But that's still not saying that it's trying to do anything. It's just trying to protect itself. So if we're going to be dead serious, if this thing is alive, it seems like it was just doing its thing. And then when it was touched, it was like, fuck this. I'm going to go prickly and scrunchy like an echidna crawling into a ball or something.
Okay. I mean, what terrestrially speaking, what could it be that maybe she mistook it as?
Oh, it's like a dirty hanky caught on the wind.
That could be what are those like dryer sheets that my wife uses that makes my clothes smell all fucked up? Could be one of those.
Fucked up. So you meant delightful, I think.
No, I don't think it's big enough. She said it was like a foot long or a foot wide. Something.
Yes.
Actually, it is kind of big.
It was described as being approximately a foot, so I assumed end to end, both sides, square.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's too big for a dryer sheet.
Yeah. Okay. Possible foam or plastic packing, maybe just in the wind. They could have been fucked up. The whole party could have been. We literally have no information about these people whatsoever.
Yeah, they could have been completely fucking hammered.
This sounds like something that could happen to us.
I'm 100% sure they were hammered. I don't know why, but in my mind, what else could possibly?
Are you feeling that?
It's intuitive. I showed all my work. What I just told you and all the listeners, I did all the math on the page. There is nothing more that I can
carried
provide.
The one I saw.
I did it all. And so everything at this point is all of us just having fun. It's easy to shit on this one. It's easy to say maybe there's an intriguing little nugget in here. Here's what I'm going to go legit.
Yeah, there's just
I would never just write something that I thought was obviously a lie or a creepypasta ever. Besides the perhaps intelligently controlled piece of fabric, what else struck me was the odd detail that these things were, that the tall humanoids were human-like enough that the female, it doesn't matter, the eyewitness said they look like they're human hybrids, that she noticed that there was a funky extra set of eyes. That's such a weird detail that I have never come across before. And that one of them has the fucking gall to be like, he's got redundant eyes. Like while he's dipping his Mets visor down really low so she doesn't see his or something. Like those fucking details to me really struck me as something like, this is either delusional, totally open for that. I mean, you can't take diabetes off the table, can't take batshit crazy off the table, can't always take crystal meth off the table. I'd like to put it real close to the edge because I don't want, any of us accidentally rubbing in it, but it's still there.
You're nervous that we're going to rub crystal meth? What?
I don't know how it works. Well, if you lay hands on crystal meth, do you talk to the Lord and dance with snakes?
I'm pretty sure that you smoke
if you rub it on your gums,
if you will
it shred it like Captain Crunch and get you high?
You rub cocaine on your gums, Robert.
I don't understand the drug.
I saw that in Scarface.
I never watched The Bad That Was Broken. I don't know.
So, the redundant eyes are interesting because I thought of Trigon from DC.
Right. A bunch of
So he's a demon and he's also part of fiction.
So let's deal with that. Something demonic.
The devil.
It's a legitimate and terrifying reality, a bona fide 100% reality that we have to all accept because it's been mentioned by enough people, from Senator Harry Reid to tons and tons of people that have held legitimate positions of influence and power, regardless of how you feel about them, that one of the biggest stumbling blocks to objectively trying to study the UFO phenomenon from a governmental or even a business governmental point of view is a huge contingent within the Pentagon that is so enraptured with the idea, pun I guess intended, that these are satanically driven vehicles operated by demons, and that to discuss them or research them gives them a foothold on our earth and either exacerbates the coming apocalypse or somehow will make it easier for the Dark One to harvest souls. And this is a legitimate fact. This isn't even the normal fun shit we talk like Operation Pitchfork. This is a dead up fact that huge contingents in our military that are high up refuse to look at this stuff seriously because they honestly just think it's demons. And then they don't bother to look 1 inch further. They just avoid it.
So like, what if they were right?
What if they were right? The worst thing is, I don't know if you guys saw Kevin Smith's Red State. It was not a great film.
No, it's not.
But what would have made it a great film is actually what I read years later, what he intended to.
His original ending.
The psycho, super mass murdering, Waco-like, super zealot cultists go through all this stuff, murder people because they're gay or because they don't believe what they want to believe. All these things that we just recognize intuitively as carrying good human beings to be horrible. And at the end, the trumpet sounds and they get to go to heaven because the Old Testament really, and the New, well, at least the apocalyptic part, is pretty fucking dark. And, you got a hard, fast line to follow. And it's not about being a just normal dude. It's about doing this shit. And had the ending of that film been the trumpets blast and the fucking shit you think is evil is actually what won, that would have been terrifying. So in that sense, if indeed, and I do not believe that the extraterrestrial / interdimensional / other intelligence phenomenon is demonic. I don't even technically believe in demons, as I've said so often. But if it was that, boy, wouldn't that be a dick kicker?
Yeah, there'd be a missile directly into your dick right there. That would suck. I
mean, just the odds of that being the one is
it's nothing that I buy. But the fact that things that all taxpayers pay for are being controlled by people that do believe that is a point worth making.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. And as you mentioned, that idea had been kind of, tossed around a few where they're like, we can't keep fucking with this shit because we're going to call upon the devils. And then there you go. And Jesus isn't back, so he can't help us yet.
Maybe
So,
he is back.
Who knows? Maybe he is, or maybe we killed him again. We don't know.
If he
Anything's
is
possible.
He's a
Maybe
Marine.
we killed him again.
We could have. I don't know.
Oh my God.
I mean, I'm sorry. I don't
That's
know.
not in the Bible.
I don't know.
Wouldn't that suck
I
if that
know.
went under the radar? The second killing of Christ?
Dude,
that
look
would be
at
horrible.
Media happens quickly nowadays. The news cycle, boom, boom, boom,
That's true.
boom, boom.
You could
Jesus
kill a
could have
savior
died
and not even
no
hear
one
about it 3 days later.
No one would have fucking known. No one would have known. So I think though that if we stick with the whole alien thing, there was a spaceship. And again with
Like
these
literally
bulging
went into
skull
space.
folks.
It saw satellites.
It did. It literally it blasted through fucking our atmosphere super quick. It's kind of funny though that she describes it as like a green shed. We have had stories, even like with Sam, the Sandown Ghost Clown, where these ships aren't really described in a technological way, but more of like an odd way. Like, oh, it was a green shed. But when you think about a shed, like if you're thinking like a green metal shed, in my mind, it almost comes up almost like camouflage. Like they make it look like a green metal shed. Because if you saw it, you wouldn't just go, if I saw a spaceship, I wouldn't say like, oh, it looks like a dump truck. Like
Right.
I would say it looks like a fucking spaceship, So maybe that could be a thing here too. Maybe some kind of like camouflaging technique to like be like, oh yeah, look, it's just a shed, but come in and look at our redundant eyes and everything will get all fucking weird and shit. So there's a spaceship. It obviously is bigger on the inside. TARDIS tech, fucking dope.
Right.
Maybe.
What up, Doctor Who?
Maybe
I mean, the
not.
smartest thing you could do is not be shiny and new and fucking Close Encounters.
Right.
It would be
Make yourself look like a shitty
dumpster
shed.
or a shitty
Yeah.
shed. Something that
Oh,
people would be like,
dumpsters.
yeah, fuck that. I don't need to even
Right.
worry about that. And when it's
Yeah.
gone the next day, you figure somebody picked it up. I don't give a fuck. It was a dumpster. It's a perfect
Right.
camouflage.
Or maybe it was like a portable Stargate thing.
Oh,
Maybe it did
Elaborate,
take off.
please.
Maybe she walked in and she got transported somewhere.
You're
Oh,
right. Maybe it was
interesting.
instead of her. Maybe the bucking and flipping is just part of like a dryer or something. The weird mechanism teleported to space next to a satellite, teleported a ways away, and then she, because of the great last teleportation, lost consciousness. So instead of it actually traveling through physical space, it's just popping in and out with these great
you don't
ruckus
know.
rumbles.
You don't
It's
know how
not beyond the
wormholes work
realm.
and shit.
Yeah, no, Chris is right. We do not know how wormholes work and shit. So
And
yeah,
shit.
The three of us barely know how the blenders work.
we don't. We're still unsure of what is below Pennsylvania. And thank you to a good listener of ours who sent us a map of Ohio to let us know exactly what is happening below Pennsylvania.
That helped us.
I
That really
appreciate
went a
that.
long way.
It really did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we're fucking idiots.
So I think personally I'm going to stick with the drone theory here that maybe the living washcloth was in fact some sort of drone mechanism that came down and kind of like tagged her, and then this is where she encountered the green shed and the bulging skull and the redundant eyes, which, as Robert mentioned, is an interesting way to describe an alien that we really haven't seen before, outside of Trigon, that is. So
Yeah.
but nothing happened at the end. That's kind of the fucking dick kickers. There's nothing. They're like redundant eyes. And then she's like, yeah, no, everything's done. And then her friends are like, it's fuzzy. We don't even fucking know. I don't even care. I don't even know.
Hence, they were all piss-faced. It was a pony
Yeah,
keg in a
I don't know,
field.
man.
Yeah.
And Teresa
I'm
was
pretty
high
I'm
on
pretty sure-
nitrous, chasing the hanky. And next thing you know, her and Matt
No
are
one does
behind the
nitrous
dumpster,
anymore.
and she thinks she's flying in fucking space. It's like, my eyes are redundant. And
Are
she's
you guys
like, your eyes
both
are
the
beautiful.
thing.
Are you guys both on the fucking drugs and dope
I
tip
think
here?
this is
Am I the
dope.
only one?
It has
You
to
think
be
it's dope?
I think it's dope.
Oh,
Dude,
no.
it's clearly a fucking washcloth or something. Somebody was doing laundry out in the clothesline.
Okay.
Shit got loose. Fuckers got hammered. She did see a shed. It was an actual fucking shed. It was on
A
Halloween.
lawnmower that was just outside the shed looked like the satellite. And she's like, oh, man, it's ours.
Oh, man.
And you know what? Let's go one even further, just to add legitimacy. It wasn't a
Scarecrow.
fucking washcloth. It was a pillowcase. It could catch
Oh,
the
that's
wind.
better.
It could deplete the wind. It could
Oh.
float around and do wiggity woo things because the breeze could catch it from different angles, and it's got a little pocket, so it looks like it's navigating kind of. It's a pillowcase and drugs, a shed, and a lawnmower.
Yeah.
And somebody with glasses who hates being called Four Eyes and referred to himself as redundant, and
Well,
yet now
yeah.
has to, live with the image he placed in poor Teresa's mind. Yes, her name is Teresa now. Or not.
Was she named?
No.
I'm lost. What
No,
the
I named her
fuck?
Teresa.
Well,
I
it's Teresa.
dubbed her.
Yeah.
I hate saying woman and her. I mean, you do it in the context of
Right.
trying to be legit. But now that we're just breaking it down for convenience sake, that's just the name I gave her.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a fine
so,
name.
Now, the one thing, though, here that I think that we might be missing, I think this might be able to bring it back here. You did mention something very interesting in the end of the story, and that is high strangeness.
It is
This
high strangeness.
Does have all the earmarks of high strangeness. Not high as in drugs and dope, high as in just these really weird fucking breaks in reality that people apparently experience, where they have these bizarre fucking things happen, and then she's reporting on it. Interestingly, though, her friends apparently have no recollection and they're fuzzy about it. So if this is something targeted towards her, or maybe it was some sort of a group event and only she's remembering it,
Well,
because they did bring her. They did check her out. I mean, they didn't check her out like, hey, what's going on? But they fucking,
Jesus
you know, they were talking.
Well, who the fuck
her
knows
about
what
shit.
they did? If we're gonna look at
She has
this
no idea.
from a historical ufological perspective, one, there have been many cases where one individual, like you say, is targeted, and the people around them are sort of put in a miasma of semi-awareness where they don't really remember what's going on, but they don't feel like super troubled about it, like it's lost time. They're just sort of barely functional mannequins, and then the person that is the true experiencer really goes through the ringer usually. That's definitely been known to happen. And the other thing is, after, the redundant eye comment, the story stops. That doesn't mean that either A, there isn't more to the story that she told certain people, but somehow it didn't, make it to the chronicler's desk, or B, she could have passed out again and again, blacking out and having horrible shit happen to you while you're unconscious, or having that memory stolen from you after the fact, are earmarks of, alien abduction scenarios. So even though, yes, the drugs and the madness and even, like you say, the high strangeness of it, in that it's almost like fucking these things, back to the ultra terrestrials, we're just here to fuck with you, just plain old fuck with you, mess with your mind, leave you looking like an idiot in front of your peers, and then jet. They're just like the shittiest ex-boyfriends ever, but actual monsters and terrifying you whenever they get a chance. So on any of those tracks, whether you want to go more paranormal or ufological, you could make a case, and I wouldn't have done this if I didn't think there was at least a kernel of possibility that something really genuine and bizarre might have happened here. But it is also very easy to, because of the big gaping holes, to fill it in with just ridiculous folderol.
Right. I think, like I was kind of saying, she could also too only be recounting a portion of an abduction where it's all hazy and shit. She's just remembering bits and pieces. So,
yeah, I mean, it's possible, but
it is. So what do you think, Chris? What do you got?
The
sigh alone is
derision.
You asked this
Derision.
question, Mark, if only to get the sigh before whatever response follows. I love it.
That's not derision. This is one where there's just the lack of substance here is hard to,
right.
It's hard to really call. I mean, yeah, it sounds like a classic fucking abduction case, pretty much, other than the fucking cloth drone, slinky cloth drone.
Right.
But I mean, it sounds like it. I mean, but there's just not enough. It's just like, oh, look, my friends all passed out, redundant eyes, and okay.
It really has no. It doesn't go anywhere, which is hilarious.
It's
No, it's a late '60s French film at this point. It's pissing on your idea of logic,
really is,
and making you feed the beast yourself.
Right.
But Chris is right. There's a lot of things that harken, obviously. If you did a bullet point of this thing, it would be like, alien abduction, with the exception again of the washcloth. But on the other hand, it is the minutia that makes you go, well, this really isn't like any other, like almost hitting satellites. Maybe some others have done that, but it's not a common thing. Ending up in a big white room, very common thing. Having guys throw each other under the bus because of fucking ridiculous extra eyes, not so much. Washcloth, absolutely not so much. So it is and it isn't. And I think that's what really intrigued me, because obviously it was just like a block paragraph, these great humanoid catalogs, just boom, 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 just the facts, ma'am. Like old school Joe Friday. And so, you look at it and then you try to find more information. Unfortunately, there wasn't much more information, but indeed,
Right.
I just thought it was worth proposing, if only to see what tangents it would take us on.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there it is. So I think we're all in agreement it's the devil. Hail Satan in all of his great glory.
Wow.
Right?
That's
okay. Well,
you like that?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think.
No, it's
I mean,
not.
you guys are saying drugs and dope. I was saying alien, abduction. I think we can all come to a middle ground and agree that it in fact was the devil.
the
Carny
devil.
terrestrials.
Carny terrestrials?
Carny terrestrials.
Oh,
call
I
it
see what
that.
you're saying.
I see
Just
what you're saying.
traveling,
I like it.
fucking solar system to solar system, setting up some shit, fucking around, throwing some
I
nitrous
see.
fucking towels
Weird
out there for
eyes.
the kids to
Okay.
fucking get high on, taking them up, fucking whatever, sending
It's
them
the
home, just fucking with their
galactic
minds.
sideshow.
Maybe it was a ride.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is like a shitty, like, oh, almost hit the satellite. Whoa, you're in the white room. Whoa, you're home. No one believes you. Ah. It's a big fat fucking carnival.
Yeah.
That really is the definition of an intergalactic carny.
Oh, it really is. It's a shitty Italian fest of the universe.
It really, it really is. Oh God, I miss it. I miss a good Italian fest.
Oh,
I
my
know,
God. The food
obviously,
alone,
coronavirus.
Come on.
Corona, pandemic. There's no fairs, carnivals.
That
fucking
deep
tiny
grease
get-togethers.
smell of the fucking
Yeah.
recently assembled rides that have passed no safety inspections.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
Everything
I-
about it. Oh, just
Dude, I miss it, dude. I just want to go to
the
the
midway.
fair and blow like $200 on
On
fucking
what?
booze and food and rides for my kids and not be able to drive home
It's
and have to get a
expensive.
bus. I love it.
Yeah, you take the bus.
great.
That's what you do.
It's what we do every year. And they're like, oh, Dad's drunk on the way home. I'm like, fine. Hey, give me some pretzels. And there you go. Fucking everyone has a good time and everyone hugs and it's a good time. So, all right. Well, there it
Wow.
is. The Kryptonaut podcast. Boy, this lockdown sucks, but it's
Yep.
okay because we're gonna be back together next week
It's
because
true.
all the tests are gonna come back as negative and everything's gonna be fine. So
Of course.
thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being there. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
We're out there every day, just like you good listeners at home doing it. And, when things happen and you're like, let's be precautious and let's do testing and make sure that everyone's okay. That's what you fucking do.
That's it.
Because why the fuck not? It's a pandemic. We're all living in it. We're all dealing with it, but we will be back together next week with another story. Patreon.com/Kryptonaut Podcast. We are going to be doing our October Patreon in a few minutes here. $1 is the shout out. $5 is the shout out and the bonus audio. $1 and $5 get access to the Discord. And right now, actually, I believe there is a movie night going on in the Discord.
Oh,
So-
shit.
Oh yeah, Friday
Yeah.
movie night. I wonder what
they're
movie
playing.
they're watching.
They're playing Hocus Pocus, and actually, I'm sorry, Hocus Pocus is about to start in 15 minutes. So
Oh, all
check
right.
that out. Yeah, and shout outs to
I love
fucking
that movie. It really is
everybody
a good
over
little
there.
movie.
Oh yeah, it's dope, and everybody in our Discord. There's Bone Daddy, literally Jesus. They're two admins that I have helping us out over there. But thank you to everyone that's on the Discord hanging out and doing it. It's a really fucking cool little community. We got Rob on there. We're gonna get Chris on there, so that's all gonna happen. So that's gonna be fucking dope. So yeah, Heller Space, get yourself some. I'll get yourself some merch. We got some shit happening there. Some new designs coming up at some point. The Instas and the Twitters and the Facebooks, we're there. We're doing it. We're hanging out. Kryptonaut Podcast. Find us on there. And oh shit! Also, too, we have to give a shout out to an anonymous listener who recently went to the Flatwoods Museum and got us this fucking awesome
yeah.
gift for
Oh, yeah.
our studio.
Hell yes.
It's this like classic fucking Flatwoods like vintage lantern that like you put over like a candle or whatever. And he sent it to us and it is fucking so dope. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
when I it was hilarious. I got the box and I opened it and like I felt it. I'm like, oh my God, I know exactly what this
Yeah, of
fucking is.
course.
I was fucking so
Yeah.
excited. It's fucking so cool.
Oh, you brailled it
Yeah.
up.
So an
It
anonymous
is
listener,
super boss. Thank you so fucking
Yes.
much.
yes, who,
anonymous
if I told
listener.
you who he was, I would have to kill you. So that is a good
Oh,
little shout
there
out
it
for
is.
me to him. So there it is. So thank you all so very much, and we will be talking with you soon.
Here.
Secure your pillowcases on your clothesline.
Yep. It'll start a whole mountain of shit.
Lock your shed. Get it together.
And I mean, I think a blanket statement is don't start doing crystal meth.
Yeah. And apparently rubbing it is fine. I've learned things today. We've all learned things today.
Yeah, you can juggle it. Just
but
don't
mostly
smoke it.
I have. Yes.
Like, I'm going to say that, like, if you're on it and you're maintaining and, like, you're a responsible adult, you might be okay. I don't want to judge your lifestyle.
No, I'm not here to
it's probably not
belittle
good.
anyone, but yeah, you
know
can't
what?
tacitly or explicitly endorse meth. We can't do that, man.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not endorsing
I felt like you
it.
kind of did.
I'm not.
So let's
I'm not
pretend you
saying,
did
like,
and rescind that.
I mean,
Jesus fucking
like,
Christ.
I'm all for personal freedoms, though. I think that if you can do something and you can maintain it and you're not a complete fucking shit show, then, like, be an adult. But what I was going to follow that up with is I don't think a lot of people can recreationally maintain methamphetamine. I don't think it's a thing.
There
I don't
you
think
go.
it's a thing. But there might be a bunch of people that do it on a recreational basis. And
Oh
they're like,
my
we're
God.
having
What
fun.
demographic are you appealing to at this point? Who are you
I
trying
want-
Nobody
for?
knows.
I'm sorry.
Listen,
I'm
if-
apologizing to everyone.
If you have a meth
Exactly.
Sorry.
We hope you get through it, and we're glad you're listening. If you are a recreational user of great internal fortitude, the fictional uber meth head,
Super
that
functional meth
that
addict,
Mark
yeah.
fucking invented just now, then more power to you. Just try to keep the spiders at bay, and everyone else fucking don't do meth. How's that? Just a simple stance.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. I'm going to walk that statement back, as I often do on this podcast. I may have just endorsed meth. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everyone. It's been a long day.
Oh,
I miss seeing Rob and Chris already. And you know what?
mwah.
Get your meth under control and we'll talk to you.
We'll talk about. We got programs. We're going to work on them. It'll be other tiers in Patreon. It will never be another tier in Patreon.
We're fucking dead meat. We're getting letters. We're getting sued.
We want
See you guys in
to be
jail.
better.
Thanks. Dicks.
Oh, shit.
So there it
We'll be
is.
talking to you. Bye.
Bye.